Hello, Luciana who was speaking about the Brazilian accent improvisation, and today we are gonna tell about 10 shortcuts that will help you in getting the Brazilian accent in your playing. The first of all, you have to know the main Brazilian composers in the music scenario. I think it's so important, for example, to know Tom Jobim, and some people out of Brazil call him Antonio Carlos Jobim. And to do Brazilian music, modern Brazilian music, without knowing Tom Jobim, you won't have the main reference, okay? And we have a lot of others like Baden Powell, Vinicius de Moraes, like a lyricist, but I think you have to know the main composers. And if you're going to play another style, for example, you're going to play forró, to know Luis Gonzaga. He's one of the most important composers of this genre, and every great musician, or almost every great musician in forró, was influenced by him. Then I think it's so important to know this main reference of Brazilian accent, all right? Even if they don't improvisate, okay? Some of them are not improvisers. The most of them are composers. They just sing and play, and it's interesting because in Brazil we have a lot of singers that doesn't have a very interesting voice with so much technique. That's why composers couldn't survive if they didn't sing. Then we have some interesting voices, but you can realize that they aren't singers. Some people still talk about Brazilian music, saying, they sing bad, but it was essential for their careers as composers to sing, to survive with music, all right? Then here a lot research. I'm gonna tell about a lot of them here in this channel if you want to have more reference. What for my videos, I'm gonna tell some stories about these composers, all right? Let me read now. It's very nice. Second thing, to get the Brazilian accent, you have to know traditional repertoire of, if you just hear modern composers. For example, Tom Jobim did like a modernization, brought some chords from classical music, brought some reference from jazz in his music. But it's so important to know the traditional styles in Brazil, to recognize what kind of change he's doing with this music. Like I said, Jobim composed some styles like baião. It's a style of the genre forró, and he did some modifications. He put a modern language with more harmony. Then if you don't know what is behind what he's doing, you can't learn something. Because, for example, I'm telling this because when I'm visiting YouTube, so I was visiting YouTube searching for people talking about the Brazilian music. I realized that there are a lot of foreigners talking about bossa nova or about another Brazilian style, and then they don't know the context. I saw, for example, a famous YouTuber and very nice YouTuber taking one bossa nova to learn something from it, and it was not a bossa nova, it was a chachado, that's a northeast style. Then it's important to know the traditional styles and genders to create this universe in your mind, okay? For example, to know a little of forró, to know a little of frevo, ciranda, these are northeast styles, to know the basics of samba and the traditional samba. It will be essential to, when you're hearing something, some recording, you're gonna recognize, he's changing a little frevo. For example, Edu Lobo has very interesting and modern frevos. But if you don't know the original style, is samba. Everybody thinks is samba, and it doesn't. All right, let's go to the third. This is almost the same thing of the second, but let's go to another point of this, to know the main Brazilian rhythms and its main characteristics. And when I say characteristics, I'm saying about the group that plays. For example, some of Brazilian music are just vocal and percussive. For example, we have maracatu in the state of Pernambuco, and maracatu, it's music made from just percussion and great percussion, and just voice, one singer or some people singing together in a chord, okay? Then it's so important to know the ambient, the environment. I'm sorry for the word. The environment that's played, the groups that play that style. It will give you a lot of clues of what to do when you're improvising. It will give a reference when you hear some modern musician. And for example, if you want to take some making your improvise some reference, some incidental music, you're gonna have the context to make this creative mixtures. All right. And what else? Number 4. Research for the main values of the style you're playing. Why I'm telling that? I have said this in another live, but a lot of people thinks that to play Brazilian music is just come here improvising what music you are playing. And if you go to traditional places where music is done, you're gonna see that's not the truth. Then observe when you, for example, if you go to a religious place where they play the candomblé songs that has Afro influence. The music is vocal and they play drums, we call atabaques, and the improvisation is just in one of the drums they play. Often we have 2 drums, for example, that are playing the basses and just one improvise. Then I recommend you to pay attention in what is important for that style. If you go to a frevo, for example, in the streets of Pernambuco in Carnival, you're gonna see they don't improvise also. They play the themes, they are arranged, the voices are communicate with each other. It's very interesting. It's a contrapuntal style. Then the improvise is not more important. But when you hear, for example, Spock Frevo Orchestra, it's a modern orchestra of Frevo. It's like a big band of playing Frevo, they improvising old songs. We have solos, and we're gonna hear solos with a lot of Frevo content. It's very interesting because you hear in a solo the same material, the same resources they use to do melodies, and so it's very interesting. Then try to understand when you are in a traditional place what's important for that music. People usually that does traditional music usually leave this traditional music and they learn music through that song, that style, that genre they are playing. Then if you do some questions like for improvisation, what's the harmony you are using, analysis, they don't know it and don't know nothing. They relation with music, their relationship with music is done by that style, and he or she learned just playing and hearing other people playing. Okay, then try to search for what's important in that kind of music. Fifth, to memorize melodies of the style you are playing. If you are researching some style that's just vocal, try to sing. Also, you can also learn a little about Portuguese. Portuguese sometimes is important to you to understand some intention. The name of a theme of can say a little about what the music, what's the character of the music. Then learn the lyrics, and when you have an instrumental style, try to learn the melodies and try to learn the original melodies, because when you memorize original melody, something very interesting happens in your brain. Because when you see another musician playing the same music that you play, you're gonna realize what details he or she will be changing. These details are so important to expand our mind. I had a little experience like that when I played at a restaurant here in São Paulo that had 4 trios playing bossa nova, and I was one of the youngest musicians there, and I learned so much when I saw an older pianist playing the theme I played, because I realized that my ear was not prepared for so much details. And seeing them playing, these another musicians playing, make me sometimes pay attention in one detail, one chord, one tempo, for example. I sometimes played. Young people used to play all in a fast tempo, but they teach me to play slower some styles like bossa nova, for example. Not all, but a lot of bossa novas has slow tempo, and musicians like to play fast, just everything fast. But some phrases, some accents, we sometimes don't realize when we are just hearing, but when we are in the environment that musicians play this, we learn so much more. Then I recommend you memorize the melodies you like, here, here, and here, and choose some songs and start to memorize them. All right. Another thing, and sixth, and for some musicians, for piano players, it would be more obvious, but for some musicians of melodic instruments, it's not. Memorize the harmonies of the style you are playing. Often people just memorize melodies, and we realize when the improvise is inside the harmony. And to play and to make some traditional reference when you're playing, if you don't know the chord or the progression exactly, your melodies will not sound consistent with the harmony. And for some styles, there are pieces of the songs that people play different. If you have memorized just one harmony, you're gonna realize the differences, and you will be more prepared to change what you are playing, or to ask the musicians if you don't have the capability of recognizing alone. But you can ask, what progression did you play? Because it will make your sound, the sound of your improvisation, get more consistency with the song, and you can choose more precisely what notes you can stop and begin your phrase. All right. Then it's a good reason for you that just play melodies, memorize the harmony. And if you have any difficulty to memorize harmonies, watch my videos here in this channel. You're gonna learn some tips of how to learn these harmonies and memorize them. Okay, let's go to another. This is very important. I think the soul of our music is near this subject. It's here the Brazilian melodies, paying attention in the phrasing, articulation, ornaments. Hear these details, and what notes are sounding percussive, what notes are in legato. A lot of Brazilian styles have this percussive intention. Then it's important to imitate these intentions. I realize some people out of Brazil, even Brazilian musicians, sometimes just pay attention in the notes that are being played. I was one of them, and now I realize to sound Brazilian, to sound with more accent, pay attention in how the phrase is being played. You can. I'm not saying to you transcribe everything you hear. I don't think transcribing is necessary to learn a Brazilian style, but it's interesting if you hear the accent, you hear what note is being emphasized, what phrases being played without legato. Okay, it's very these details make your sound be more percussive or not, depending on the song we are playing. But many people don't change his or her behavior. They play just the same thing in all situations. And if you pay attention, percussive music is done differently. Pay attention in the articulation, alright? Okay, let me talk about the eighth, I'm sorry. This is very nice. Use the metronome to help you in the accent of the style you're playing. The metronome can be used just to mark the beat, and but we can use, like I know that there are jazz players watching for this video. Jazz players used to play the metronome in 2 and 4. And for example, if you're playing bossa nova, we have the snare drums. No, I'm sorry. The hi-hat. The hi-hat is being played on the upbeat. Then, if you play using the metronome in the upbeat, you can feel the intention of bossa nova. The upbeat will help you to feel and play with the right intention. So I use the metronome. And another tip, I think it's it can help you also. It's to search for play-alongs being played. It's important this being played by Brazilian musicians, because we have a lot of play-alongs played by people from outside of Brazil, and so in so many examples they lost they don't know some values, and they play like people from another country. Then search for it in YouTube. We have some drummers here in Brazil that play along with Brazilian rhythms. I think they will give you the environment to create this kind of phrasing, and sometimes if you get out of this phrasing, it will be easier to realize. Then use the metronome sometimes in the proper tempo. For example, bossa nova you can use in the upbeat, or play-alongs or drums play-alongs to reinforce your environment to play in the real Brazilian accent. Let me go down here. 9 shortcut, I think will help you to play Brazilian music. If you want to get deeper in a style that you are learning, I also recommend you to learn some percussion. For example, and you don't need to learn the percussion with all the details to become a percussionist. No, just learn the basic of that style. Just learn to have a little comprehension of how percussion is made. Because when we transport for the instrument, it can sound more realistic. The accentuation, we know why the accentuation is done, and we learn details from that style. It can improve a lot our phrasing, our intentions. Alright then, for example, I play some kind of little of pandeiro. I learned the berimbau and the shaker. The shaker it's a common instrument in a lot of styles, and not common in being played, but the intention that we put on the shaker can help us to make the phrasing accentuate in the right places. All right, and the 10th shortcut, and I said shortcut, but I think most things are essential to play Brazilian music. I recommend you to record or register what you are playing. Register and improvise, I think, for two reasons. You can make it first, and the most important, to criticize. You can hear what's getting out of the style. You can hear when you are playing without swing. And the second, I think it will help you to motivate in your study. You have to record to see, to hear your improvement. When you hear a recording of 1 month ago and compare, if you start studying and you compare with your first recordings, you're gonna see the changes. You're gonna see that you are taking some elements into your brain and using them in a non-aware condition. When the style is getting inside you, you're gonna feel them. Then when you record and hear, sometimes you are because to improvise in Brazilian music is not a easy thing. It's possible. It's how can I say this? The values are all easy. You can learn them easily, but you're gonna realize if you don't practice them for a time, you're gonna realize that they won't sound. You're gonna lose reference. When I was researching for Brazilian music, and I have some tutors and masters helping me, they often said, you are getting out of the language. What you are playing now is jazz. And it's interesting because for a jazz player it would sound Brazilian, but for Brazilian players and improvisers it wouldn't be sounding authentic. Alright? Then when you register, you can compare, and in this improvement circle you're gonna pass when studying Brazilian music, you're gonna have the register to make the comparison and to motivate yourself with your older register. We improve easily, but it's like when you make exercise. If you train today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, a week, you're gonna have difference for the last week or last month, for example. But we are not capable to see this. But when we see a photograph, it's clear that you have considerable changes. Then register always what you're studying. If you're studying, for example, the machixe, that's a style before the samba came. Register. You're gonna realize your improvement, your capacity of playing with more swing and make the sound more good to hear and to others dance, for example. Alright, then these were the 10 tips. I think to improvise in Brazilian music, you have to know simple ideas. They are so simple, they are not difficult to execute, but the way to get these ideas to take these ideas and to let them inside you takes some time and discipline. Then it's an easy way, but I can say that it's not it's a simple, but it's not easy. Simple way, but not easy way. Okay? If you are searching for that, and if you always hear Brazilian music and had the intention to learn it, follow this channel. Please subscribe. I'm here in Instagram, YouTube, Facebook also, and I'm going to enter and to start an account in Telegram also, and there I'll be sending some materials written, some rhythmic pattern, some ideas, and some lead sheets. Then subscribe, and thanks for watching this. I'm Luciano Ruas from the Brazilian Accent Improvisation. Thanks for watching me, and see you if you want to watch for all the lives. I'm here every day. Okay, same Brazilian music. Thanks for everything. Bye bye.